This is the year that Fink beats the stomach.
Welcome to Fink Beats the Stomach, episode number 86, our bi-weekly take on the world of competitive eating. I am Mike Sullivan.
And I'm Jimmy Splendini.
I was focusing so much on 86, and then I was like, I skipped part of
I
our
swear we
intro.
haven't even started drinking these, so cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man.
That's on me. I'm so happy about that. I feel way better about not knowing how to work the timer now.
Correct, even though
We had a goof.
We had a
We
goof.
goofed it.
Our whole last episode was a bit of a goof, unfortunately.
I wish that we planned that.
And we didn't. I wish we planned better for our previous episode as well. Episode
Right,
number
so
85.
all of this is shockingly a lack of planning on our part.
Correct. And I mean, if you follow us on social media, or if you saw us out on the streets, you saw me out on the streets. So sorry for last episode. I think I've groveled enough.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. You're so sorry that I'm not sorry.
I mean, this is why we're the Fink brothers.
Yin and yang.
So this episode, for episode number 86, we just want to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah. Just wanted to shout out Danny Splendori, born 1986. My brother.
So cheers to Danny.
Hey,
who was at the first Finky Awards.
That's right, he was.
Was he at the second or the third?
I don't think he's been back.
he peaked on the first one.
Yeah, he was not. He's not about it.
But the Finky Awards are coming up.
And Mike, when's that happening?
April 13th, 2019.
Year of our Lord.
Celebrating the 2018 year of competitive eating.
Like backwards.
Happening at Flannery's Bar, New York City.
Real quick, where specifically in New York
14th Street and 7th Avenue.
Oof, what a corner.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a great roster of eaters that have confirmed.
Oh, so
Facebook confirmed.
We're putting. Oh, okay. Are we gonna put this on wax?
No, I wouldn't, because this is what I was gonna say. When you Facebook confirm to events, I feel like a lot of times people don't feel that really means.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of fakes, man.
Yeah, they're a bunch of fakers, bunch of posers, man.
I feel like there's got to be a third eye blind thing. Like,
I'm looking at you. You're saying you're attending on Facebook,
right.
And I'm looking at you. I'm going to your event,
right? Like you say on the computer, you're coming to the thing. We all know you're not.
Do Finkies, do. So the Finkies are April 13th.
Anyway.
We're very, very excited. Flannery's Bar. There are hijinks and bits and awards.
Picks, links, all of it. What time's this thing gonna pop off, Mikey?
So I would say arrive around 4 p.m.
4 p.m. sounds delightful.
We're probably gonna pop off around 4:30.
Don't tell. We're starting at 4.
The event starts at 4. The open bar starts at 4.
Which is the open.
So
we're starting at 4.
So there'll be open bar, optional open bar.
I'm telling people this. This is how I'm pitching everybody.
Please.
It's after brunch.
Pitch me.
It's after brunch. It's before dinner.
That's true. It's the perfect time.
It's the perfect time.
And that's what I love about it. I love that we get to go up, hijinks, we have a blast, but then when it's over, we still have the whole night ahead of us.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I don't normally make it a whole night.
I was gonna say I don't want to call anyone out in particular, but very often by the end of the Finkies programming, people are like carded out. Like,
I'm not gonna say
too much fun. Too much fun.
Oh, yeah, for fun.
In the fumblance. Yeah. Not the actual, nothing like serious. No one's been hurt in the making or performing of the Finky Awards.
And the nice part is that we have a fun ambulance and we also have a fan ambulance as well for all the fans.
A few fans that come out. There's some big fans actually that are. I don't want to confirm anything.
No.
Just come. It's gonna be a blast.
It's gonna be so much fun. I'm legitimately very, very, very excited.
Me too. It's the fourth Finky Awards, and I feel that every single year it gets better and better and better.
Prestige, intrigue, monologue, dialogue,
and awards. And the voting is going to close after we record this episode.
Right. Done.
So if you're watching on the live stream, now is your chance. Now your chance to go in and vote for the awards for the 2018 year of competitive eating.
Now, sis, we're looking at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe we're in Standard Time. Are we in
Eastern Standard Time, EST.
Are we gonna close after we record or at 11:59 tonight?
We'll do.
Don't stay up to.
Yeah, we'll do probably around when I'm gonna go to bed.
Maybe say like 10 o'clock.
Maybe 10.
10 Eastern.
Probably around 10 Eastern.
Dinner time if you're on the West Coast.
It gives the West Coast people a little bit more time.
Because get home from work, guys. You don't work late.
Yeah.
It's West Coast.
So get your votes in. We'll be giving out the awards on the 13th.
Cannot wait.
It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
And so because we have the Finky Awards coming up in less than 2 weeks, because there wasn't any major competitions that happened between our last episode and this episode, because I just couldn't, I don't have the heart to go through another technical malfunction.
Mikey.
I just wanted to chit chat on this episode and kind of like old times and kind of see what's going on. I asked some of the listeners on social media. Presumably they listen to the show or watch the show.
I would love if people were just like, yeah, you know what I love to do? Just hit those boys up on social media.
But not actually.
No idea what they're about. No idea why they keep asking me these questions. But you know what? Love to hit those guys up.
I mean, honestly, it's probably most people that actually do that.
Yeah, we're a good follow. Well, you're a great follow.
I'm an okay follow.
Yeah, the Einstein shout out was nice today.
You gotta try anything to get people voting.
Did you like hashtag like puppy pig?
I just threw Einstein up there. But we did ask the followers on social media, you know, what are some things that you want us to talk about? And we got a few suggestions. We got a few suggestions for interviews.
Yep.
Which some of them, there was one in particular that I'm really intrigued by, and I want to explore and follow through for a future episode.
Oh.
But again, because of the technical difficulties we had, and again, really sorry, one more bite.
We'll do it later.
I wanted to take some of the talking points and kind of go through. So
let's do it.
Let's just throw a few of them out there. Renee Rovtar, Dr. Renee Rovtar,
love her,
nominated with her daughter for Rivalry of the Year.
At what awards?
The 4th Finky Awards.
Perfect. April
she 13th. Wants to know what contest we are most looking forward to in 2019.
Wow.
I have.
Do you have one off the top?
I do.
I'm gonna do some scan. I'm listening. But
you do a little bit of scanning through. I'm excited for the Fortune Bay Resort and Casino double whammy that's going to be happening.
Explain the double whammy.
So Fortune Bay, actually, I can.
No, I'm love. Oh, this is a good use of for all of the video fans. It's a great use of video here. Mike, I assume you're pulling something up relating to the contest.
Well, we can even just pull up like the calendar, Major League Eating. Obviously, a ton of Nathan's qualifiers. We have the Sweet Corn Eating Championship, a classic. Mutton Sandwiches making a return.
Oh, I know what I'm looking for.
Able Skeevers, Pepperoni Rolls making a return. The Pepperoni Girls and Boys are coming out. Canteen Sandwiches making a return. Rouse's Crawfish making a return. Acme Oyster, of course. Malted Barley World Pretzel Eating Championship, Fortune Bay, the Wild Rice Hot Dish Eating Championship. Oh, I didn't even know about the Fat Boys Pizza Eating Championship.
I hadn't seen this one.
Where's that? Louisiana as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great logo.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Buffalo, Case's Pork Rolls, Tamales, and then the Indian Taco Eating Championship. That's just on the Major League Eating side of things.
That's just MLE. Of course, there's lots to talk about on the other circuit, but let's really kick it MLE in terms of this one.
So for me, I had the honor of emceeing the Indian Taco Eating Championship last year, the end of last year, to see Fortune Bay come back and do another contest, a completely different part of the year. I mean, one's in June, one's in November. Wild Rice Hot Dish, another local food that I'm not even completely clear on what it actually is.
Yeah, if there's anything that sounds like it's from the Midwest more than Hot Dish, I want it. I don't know.
You tell me.
Yeah, you hit me. You find me in the Midwestern streets. I'll hang out in Minnesota.
So I just think it's cool to see another sponsor besides Nathan's do an additional contest.
Yep.
Building a name for themselves.
I'm trying to make a name for myself.
And I will say that the people of Tower, Minnesota were extremely excited.
Salt of the earth.
For competitive eating, for Major League Eating to be there. Obviously, you had your Joey fanatics that were out there at the Indian Taco Eating Chestnut. Yeah, Joey Chestnuts. But I mean, they were amped up about getting OG, the Branimal, Hazard, Chigger, like everyone that came out. Esper, the returning champion, they were excited about. So it's cool to see a place like Tower, Minnesota start to build a little bit of reputation.
That's a good one. And I know, Mike, you not only about the fans, you had nothing but amazing things to say about the sponsor, and also just Minnesota in general, a place I have never been. But
I recommend.
Obviously, I'm gonna. If you're a listener, you know me. and you know that I'm building off of the only bit I've ever really gotten right in this entire show.
Okay.
Which is small town contest, baby. I'm looking
a
after
small
those
town contest.
able skeevers. That looks like a fun, weird ethnic celebration of like Vikings.
Yeah,
Skeevers.
it's like Dutch.
That looks like
It's like Dutch.
Yeah, I love the Dutch.
It's an area, Elkhorn, Iowa, I believe.
Okay.
This is
5/25, May 25th.
the third year they've done the contest. I've heard a rumor that Ronnie Megabyte Hartman might be attending that contest.
Are you talking about professional wrestler?
Professional wrestler
Ronnie?
built from Coney Island.
Yo, Bill.
Lives in Buffalo, New York.
Also, it took, I want to say, like 3+ years of you and Tommy saying "build from" for me to not think you were saying "built from." I was like, "Oh, it's such
in a way, it's
like, oh, it's such a weird thing to say. Like, oh, he's built from. That's like a funny way to say it." And I was like, "Oh." And now I overuse it because like I'm so proud of myself. He built from Coney Island, from the South, somewhat North Carolina,
one of the Carolinas.
which
I think it's North, but I'm probably getting that wrong.
lives in Buffalo. Sweetheart.
Ronnie, if you're watching, text me and I will correct.
Yeah, Ronnie, just hit me up about anything. We can just chit chat on my way home. I love that one. I love a small town contest. I love they sent who out there to
MC Sam.
I knew they sent
Killed
Sam
it.
out there. Yeah, because he had a great video. It was in like a weird tent. I still
Yes,
don't really know
yeah,
what
you
Able
do
Skeevers
remember.
are, but like I loved it. They're like some sort of like almost like dumpling kind.
It's like a puff pastry.
Yeah, and I love that. Well, it's the best. I'm so happy that they're doing it, and I love they're bringing the eating to the people.
Dude, and I'm pretty sorry to say I was offered to MC Able Skeevers this year.
Yeah,
But-
also, Fink Pizza Stomach exclusive.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything.
Pull behind that curtain.
But I have Thomas Murphy, his bachelor party. It's
Never
Memorial
heard of
Day
him.
weekend.
Never heard of him.
So we're going down to LBI. It was a huge bummer to get offered a contest like
to
Able
get offered
Skeevers.
the bachelor party. It was a huge bummer.
Yeah, it was a huge bummer to have to go to this. Well, anyone who's an older listener of Fink Pizza Stomach knows I believe the name of the episode is CL in the Frat House, when we had Crazy Legs and Hogan Gorman on, and it was the same time that I can't remember why, but Thomas and his Fordham college friends, while they were still in college, came over
What
our
was that
apartment.
about?
I don't know why they were in town. It was like him and
what a
four of
funny
his friends.
grouping of people.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys are gonna be at the bachelor
yeah.
party. And they came in while we were recording. Then
Classic
we
old
did
Fink
the
Pizza
episode.
Stomach.
Yeah, and then they came out and started asking Crazy Legs like questions about competitive eating, and we made that a bonus episode called Crazy Legs in the Frat House. We had a separate episode with just him and Hogan and CL.
And if you're a medium fan or like not an OG fan, you will remember that we went for your bachelor party to a competitive eating contest.
yeah, that we
So
did.
this is
it all
all
comes
fits
together.
together.
So, Able Skeevers, that's a good pick, and I'm surprised. I thought you were gonna go with the layup of gyoza,
No, because we've been there.
and we know.
I mean,
well, we haven't been there,
No, but we've talked.
yet, but
That's why you're a pro.
But-
That was good. No, but we love Corey. We love the whole crew. We've talked about that one 1,000 times. I was trying to give them the raise of competitive eating.
Speaking of getting a raise, what are the
I don't want to
contests?
go work. Come on,
what
buddy.
are the No, this is being raised from the dead.
Whoa!
What are the contests
Stop. That was good.
that you feel should be making a comeback? And that comes from Michael Dietz.
Yeah, that was a very good.
Thank you.
that was very
Thank you. But it's interesting, as we went through the Major League Eating calendar, there are two contests that took a hiatus and have been brought back. Rouse's Crawfish.
Yep.
And
I'm excited about that one actually.
Absolutely. And pepperoni rolls. That's in West Virginia.
Because if you remember, there's a bunch of pepperoni guys.
Pepperoni. We'll have to get that on the song.
Love that. Yeah.
You can see the tongue when you're on the
Yeah.
YouTube video screen.
But I'm happy.
So contest that you hope comes back.
This is one of those moments like I need to browse. Like I need to know what we're missing this year. Do you happen to have any off the top?
So the two that immediately...
Or I can go for a real upset. Wing Bowl.
Wing Bowl came to my mind.
That's a joke. That's not a serious thing.
I mean, we have a question about Wing Bowl, not
know.
related to it being away, but Wing Bowl, So this was the first year.
I love you. Like you're about to get philosophical. Like, you know, James. Let me tell you something.
This was the first year that Wing Bowl didn't. Well, Wing Bowl in its previous form did not happen. So we talked about on the show Wing Pole,
which we were psyched about, obviously.
Happened, and multiple through my loose research. There was a lot going on at the time.
You had sources on the ground.
A few.
Yeah.
Multiple gentlemen's clubs.
Multiple.
Hosted their own wing eating contest called Wing Pole, and it was almost. I feel like I feel like in the very beginning of The Sopranos, someone dies. And they call together like a meeting of like
all families.
Yeah, all the heads. I haven't seen the first season of Sopranos in years, but I felt it was almost that way. So 94 WIP said, we're done. Angelo said, I'm good. I'm a grandfather now. I need
charge it to them.
To them. And they all got together and just decided, you know what? We're gonna try to do the same thing because we made so much money on this day.
I'm sure there's like a wire. This is like the co-op.
When you walk through the garden.
That's actually the song that a lot of girls dance to at those clubs, which is weird.
If I ever walk into a gentleman's club and that's playing.
Oh, there is in the opening credits of one of the seasons. They definitely have a short,
maybe
one from Avon's club.
There's that would make sense. That'd probably be season 1. I feel like the club is big in season 1.
It is, yeah.
We should start a wire podcast.
Yeah, I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but that's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
it's like no way, James.
Yeah, guys, I know you've probably never heard
Competitive Eating Guy says that The Wire is a good show.
I'm a journalist. David Simon and I have that in common. We're both journalists.
So all the gentlemen's clubs got together and they said we're all on our own going to throw our own wing pole because it's not Wing Bowl.
Yeah, play on words.
And
they put 2 on top of 2.
2 on top of 2. I know Motrain had his own, kind of party that he emceed, and I know Nadia White seemed to win the biggest contest that was held, and so that it does live on in some form, but it's not Wing Bowl. No. It's not being on the floor it's Wells Fargo now. It used to be Wachovia, now it's Wells Fargo Arena, where the Sixers play, where the Flyers play, seeing people eat wings in the morning.
I suspect we can't get into too much in the Wing Bowl, but I suspect taking this sort of mob mentality out of it has to be a positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just not having that many drunk people in one room is probably always good. So I don't know what to think about Wing Bowl, but there's no way it was as bad as Wing Bowl.
I just, if we can just pull like a quick...
Are we looking at pole or bowl here?
We're going to look at bowl because we're talking about a contest that...
But also, this was a joke. I don't really want to get too...
Okay, so we don't... So I won't do it.
I don't have a better answer, but I also don't want to do another Wing Bowl episode.
Let's just
My name is
quick...
I can drink whatever. I don't care who wins.
Just in case anyone...
Yep, that was... I do love that they have that guy saying that.
And
Patrick. Yeah,
bunch of smuts. But, I'd give him the business all day.
This was like the funnest time I've ever had.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I'd give it a business. Yeah, so we're good. Anyway,
what about kale? Kale, yeah.
Thank you. That's a legitimate answer. I would miss that.
The World Kale Eating Championship.
Mike, now, have you ever hosted that one?
I hosted both of them.
Wow.
Both of them.
Who's won that one? Who's the champ?
Gideon the Truth OG.
Wow.
Very famously, at the second annual, Joey wasn't at the first, came to the second. Him and Gideon were the top 2, and I erroneously announced Joey, the winner, in front of the crowd. In easily the biggest blunder I've made as an MC, but it built character
100%
in me, and I only cried about it a little bit after. But
yeah, Mike. I mean, if we didn't make mistakes, Creed would be a 5-minute movie.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
I'm fighting pretty Ricky Collins. I'm dangerous. To be dangerous. That's Creed 2.
By the way, it's out on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Now, Mike, is that in this house?
Oh, I own it. I own it on Blu-ray. The World Kale Eating Championship.
That's a good one.
I'm trying to think what else are there.
We always wish that there were Hooters because it's just such a good.
Because it's a big name, a big brand name.
They do qualifiers a lot of the time, so it's always nice to have that one around because it's just more opportunity.
I have a good one, and we're doing all this on the fly, but the Crystal Square Off.
I do not remember that.
That's because we weren't around for it at all. I'm gonna throw on this video, but put it on mute just to not distract us here. But
the shirts are delightful.
so Crystal Burger, they're like White Castle burgers, pretty
Oh, we've
prominent
talked about
in
this.
the South, maybe the Midwest. They're not big in the Northeast. They're not big in New York.
No, because White Castle.
Right. So, but it's a very large fast food chain, so
Okay.
a legitimate company. And as you can see, I mean, I literally just clicked a random video, but you can see Kobayashi versus Joey right there in the middle. Legitimate
Which may
jersey.
come up later this year, by the way.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Legitimate jerseys on a legitimate stage. This was a pretty big contest that went on for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And was really the number 2, maybe even at some point the number 1 to Nathan's.
Right.
You could just see. I mean, again, this is random video that I picked.
Hey, I love like nature abhors a vacuum. I love to see like we in the 5 years we've been doing this podcast, so many other contests have come that have sort of taken its place in the next tier, all of which we love. You know, gyoza, buffalo wings. You know, it's nice to see like great contest. Very quickly, others have emerged
Absolutely.
and have not died out.
But it would be cool, people, if you ever talk to eaters who have been in the game for a long time, the Crystal Square Off tends to come up.
Right.
I feel like there's a stat, I wish I knew off the top of my head, that I believe the first time Joey beat Kobayashi was at Crystal.
Wow.
Or maybe the year that Joey beat him at Nathan's, Kobe beat him at Crystal. There was a big part of their rivalry,
Right.
and maybe we'll find out, a big part of their rivalry was
Crystal.
the Crystal Square Off.
Which
So-
also means if it's a well-regarded contest, it means that there's a great Badlands story.
Well, yeah, he was up on that stage in that video that we were that I just put up.
All right, Mike, what's next from the fans?
So I feel like because we kept teasing it, but a little bit of a segue for that conversation point. Crazy Legs Conti asked, this upcoming weekend is WrestleMania weekend, which obviously I'm very excited about.
Now, is that like the Nathans for wrestling?
It's like the Nathans of wrestling,
Got it.
or the NBA Finals.
The Super Bowl of
I
competitive eating?
totally missed the thing. Yeah. So, Crazy Legs asked, what foods, matchups, and rivalries would be featured in an MLE run WrestleMania, Eatermania,
You do
whatever.
no
whatever.
Oxford comma there for Crazy Legs.
Well, I mean, that was just me typing on
Okay,
the subway
okay.
when I sent that to you. But
Just would have been surprising for me.
I think the most obvious matchup, Kobayashi versus Joey.
And also, we've done this before.
Have we done it on the show? Oh, yeah.
No,
off the
off
show.
air
Okay.
for hours. Like we've booked 5 seasons of this.
I mean, yeah. So on the way back from the first Wing Bowl we ever went to.
Oh well, the only time we've ever gone to Wing Bowl together.
Correct. Because
No,
I
no.
mean, I've only been to Wing Bowl twice. So yeah,
Right.
the second time I went without you.
I've only been to Philly once.
So I believe it was Wing Bowl 23, to put in perspective. I'm only remembering that because of our jerseys.
That's right.
But on the way, we took the bus from Philly to New York.
Which is a classic, like we're 23.
Correct. So we're like, let's get this really cheap bus
So you're like
fare
the boat bus to
and
Philly.
stay at Maeve's house and
Right.
sleep on our floor. Like, cut costs as much as possible.
Yeah.
Even though if we did today, we'd probably still stay at Maeve's house. So
Yeah, just because Maeve's a
we
great
love
house.
Maeve.
We know what we would take the Acela this time.
We would. Or I'd probably drive because I have a car now.
Wow, Mike's got a car now.
So anyway,
I gotta take the dog. It's all.
on the way back, we started to book our own WWE season,
Yeah.
but for competitive eating. So under the fantasy land that competitive eating is fake and pre-booked, and
Which
you can have these
it's
storylines.
not.
It's a sport. I mean, it's not. It's really a sport.
It's not sports entertainment. This
No,
is not.
it
We're
is a
not
sport.
based in Stamford, Connecticut. No.
So back in that world, I feel like the most obvious match is Kobe versus Joey.
Yep.
Um,
What would you say the WWE equivalent right now of that is? Like Stone Cold, The Rock.
Yeah, it would be Stone Cold and The Rock.
Although both of them are retired though.
Yeah, but it's they're from the same era,
Right.
and it was a rivalry that you thought you wouldn't see again,
Sure.
and then having it come back. So I'm sure like One More Bite or Ronnie has a few, like they can think of a few.
Yeah.
But I'm almost thinking how Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart had the Montreal screw job, and then
Yeah, of course.
I mean so
all the fans know what you're talking. Don't even explain it, Mike. We got it.
two big rivals in wrestling, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, had there was a basically like cheating that happened. Is it storyline? Is it not? Whatever. And it resulted in Bret Hart leaving the company.
IRL.
Okay. And they were the rivals in like the early 90s. And we never, got to see them again.
Yeah.
But then Bret Hart came back, but he had a stroke. He was in like rough shape, so he ended up facing Vince McMahon, who kind of set off that cheating scandal in '97 or whenever the Montreal Screwjob was. Anyway, so it's sort of, I think The Rock versus Stone Cold works.
Okay.
But basically, it's these two people you thought you would never see again, coming back to the table and competing in this dream match. Against each other.
Right. And we've seen Joey drink as much as Stone Cold does.
He does the same type of like, bah, bah, bah,
but with Joey juice.
But with Joey juice instead of beer. Now,
but that makes Kobe The Rock, which I don't really love. That's just not a 1-to-1.
I mean, I don't think either of them can really. Kobe's got good eyebrows, so that maybe that's how.
Yeah, Kobe's got great hair.
Like The Rock doesn't have hair anymore.
That's right, which is good for him.
So, but do you twist this main event and make it, because another good storyline and one that we booked when we were doing
Glad you remember.
Back from Wingwell is Rich Shea having a NWO type invasion alternative Major League Eating promotion, like whether he rips off his shirt at Nathan's and he has an MLE shirt and he rips it off and it's all pro, or it's like Rich League Eating, or like he has his own like rival promotion, and you're like, oh my god, like Rich stabbing his brother in the back, and it's the battle of the brothers. One of them puts up their best eater in their promotion, the other one, Joey, obviously stays with George, or maybe it's like the Hulk Hogan turn where Joey turns on George and he's Rich's main guy, so then George has to go make amends with Kobayashi as a way to save Major League Eating.
So what I'm thinking is, I wish that the Australians had more of an adversarial relationship with us. Or I wish Sam were.
I was gonna say, or Sam with us.
Right, or Sam was like Russian.
Okay.
Because I want like
a Drago type.
Because I want Sam to actually do the turn on them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he's not from here. That's really just like the situation. Is that what's the name of the guy who's not really Russian, but they say he's Russian, and he's with his wife is actually the one he does the show with, Rusev.
Oh yeah. He's Bulgarian.
Bulgarian, right? But of course, it's all.
And his wife Lana. Although she, like, I think
Real
she
wife.
lived, IRL and on the show, she's, like, from Florida.
Right. But she does a great accent, as far as I
She
can
lived there or something. I remember hearing an interview with
also,
her.
I don't know anything about
Now this becomes a wrestling podcast.
That I just want, the foreign guys got to turn on the All-American guys.
Yeah.
And he uses the other set of brothers, Fink brothers, as his propaganda arm. Yeah, essentially. We're his propaganda arm. And we spread, like, false information via our like pirate radio.
I like it.
Which we do obviously with him.
So then does Sam get Kobayashi? Because I'm still thinking about like the main event of Joey versus Kobe.
I'm trying to build. This is 365 days a year, Mike. We
we're talking about WrestleMania.
Yes. All right.
Sure.
International team. He gets Kobe. Obviously, the All-American boy stays with them. Tomfoolery, obviously. But it ends with Molly Schuyler coming in and winning the whole thing
against the boys.
Against all the boys.
Wow, that's quite the main, like a Money in the Bank cash in type.
And I'm about to blow your socks off, Mike. I happen to know that this year's main event is an all-female fight.
It is an all-female fight at WrestleMania.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what 2019 deserves, a woman to come in and kick ass. That's my storyline.
Okay. I mean, we at Fink Beats the Stomach are always advocates of the female competitive eaters getting a spotlight.
The ladies, absolutely.
Maybe Major League Eating will end up following the lead that WWE has set out for them.
That still sounds weird to hear.
Yeah,
well, WWE has set any sort of progressive lead. But anyway.
They're trying, kind of.
We'll talk about it off air.
Yeah, I mean, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. But yeah.
Thank you so much. Is Becky Lynch the one that they made the movie with? They made the movie with the guy from Shaun of the Dead, where the two kids become
That's Paige.
Paige. Okay. Thank you. We're done with wrestling. Truthfully, also, I'm done with wrestling.
Okay, so we're done with wrestling. But it brings up a segue of what we talked about. Of there's going to be an ESPN 30 for 30.
That's right.
About competitive eating, specifically about the rivalry of Joey Chestnut versus Kobayashi.
Yep.
It's called The Good, the Bad, the Hungry.
Beautiful.
It's premiering at the end of this month at the Tribeca Film Festival, and from what I've heard, it's going to be hitting the airways in July.
Great.
Probably to coincide with the contest.
Perfect timing.
So we're planning on being at one of the screenings. There's multiple screenings happening during the Tribeca Film Festival, so we should be seeing it, and we can talk about it on the show. Are you excited about the thought of a 30 for 30 about competitive eating?
I love, and we've talked endlessly about how great the 30 for 30s are. Big shouts to Bill Simmons. You know, obviously, we're both podcasters, so he understands who we are as well.
He's also watching, so
Of course. I mean, Pacific time, baby. He's getting off of work right now. And although I do feel like those guys at the Ringer would love, maybe not our show, but competitive eating more.
my dream for Fink Pizza Stomach is getting picked up by the Ringer.
But you know that I'm always like, oh, like they mentioned it on it. Like, anytime someone outside of our world even is like, oh, and that guy used to eat dogs, I'm like, Mike, this guy mentioned it. Yeah. Anyway.
We're getting closer.
Right. I love the 30 for 30s. This is like exactly why they exist. So I think it's gonna be great. Obviously, we find this whole world wildly fascinating, and this is really something that we've not been able to scratch at. The shades kind of act like it doesn't exist, and that's why I think this is like sort of the perfect opportunity. I hope that we just get Joey unfiltered.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. I had heard, I don't know if you remember this, but last 4th of July they were doing some sort of filming, or there was talk about this, or I remember this being in the ether that ESPN was doing, or not even ESPN, someone was doing a documentary about the Kobayashi Joey rivalry. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but something had tipped people off that this was a thing that was being discussed and talked about.
Right.
And my immediate thought was, what's Joey's stance on this going to be? Right. He has been in the public saying all the time, I wish Kobe would come back. I wish we would go against him. Blah, blah. Yeah. George, what would George's stance be on it? Would MLE even comment on it? And it remains to be seen, but on the Tribeca film page, it mentions Joey, Kobayashi, and George.
Right.
So is George
that could
interviewed?
just be archival footage.
Yeah, who knows? So
but also, it's about, I mean, truthfully, I know I said, like, all the shades don't talk about it. George and Rich are smart guys. Like, this is the time to be like, I'm going to offer my thoughts in this forum. Like, there's no better place to do it than here.
Well, they also, last year, they were tweeting something to the effect of, like, we'd welcome Kobayashi back and blah, blah. And
it seems to have cooled the...
Well, for them, I bet Kobayashi came out very hard and said, I have no interest in it.
Yeah, but it was like Voldemort for years before. Like, they wouldn't even say Kobe's name.
Correct. That is definitely true.
Right.
So it's interesting. I'm curious to see how the documentary, like what kind of position or viewpoint it takes, what those people do, because there was that documentary Hungry, which came out during our show's lifetime, which is very Kobayashi focused, anti-MLE.
Right.
Focuses a lot on why competitive eating is bad, why they think Major League Eating or / Nathan's like is stealing money, or not stealing money, but not paying the eaters enough. Right. So like it's an interesting watch just to see a snapshot of what was going on in competitive eating at that time. Right. But it was very negative towards Major League Eating. So I'm curious to see how this 30 for 30 goes. ESPN, who obviously has been carrying the Nathan's contest for many years on TV, it'll be interesting. Will they do a sit-down confrontation in 2018 with the two of them?
So a lot of times they'll do that, like when they have when they do these documentaries, they'll do like half of it, they'll set the whole thing up, and then you'll go to break and come back and it's like them two in a room, and Kellerman's got the
is Kellerman involved in this 30 for 30?
If he's not, I don't want to see it. Kellerman's got he's got the chair turned around and he's like, what do you say about that? And like they usually crush it. It's a real like Billy in the Hulu, although I've not seen the Hulu. But like dun dun, and they're there.
So we'll see.
I'm psyched. I'm like legitimately excited. This is like something I'm actually psyched about.
Yeah, and I don't know, as sort of a last question on this point, has there been many 30 for 30s about more obscure sports? I feel like
I'm sure there's been like one about like the Iditarod. Like I know that they've gotten a little bit more outside.
But is this the most outside?
Maybe. Truthfully, after the original, like they did the 34-30. After that, they did like a bunch of shorts that like I'm sure they got. And then Netflix just put out that Loser show.
Yeah, that's different though.
Different, but like right now, like with how easy it is to put things out.
Sure.
Like, not that those were particularly obscure, but like there was one about like curling on there. Like the move to telling different stories through sports is only growing.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be talking about it once we get a chance to see it, and then hopefully everyone will be able to see it.
I mean, everyone's gonna go to
July. Yeah. Or if you're in New York and you're not at the Finkies, it's a few weeks after.
Yeah.
Go see the 30 for 30.
Let's do it.
I do want to go back a little bit to another fan question. Jimmy Brown, not our childhood friend Jimmy Brown, but fan of the show Jimmy Brown.
I would be very surprised if our childhood friend Jimmy Brown started listening.
I feel like he'd be into what we're doing over here.
If we saw him on the streets, he'd be like, "Yeah, I heard you doing the podcast."
Yeah.
But I don't think he's listening.
But so Fink Pizza Stomach fan Jimmy Brown wanted to know what our favorite Wing Bowl eating stunt was, and I know that
I only remember one.
What is the one you remember?
Mo Trains.
Oh, the steak with the asparagus.
So I hope I didn't steal it. But
no, that's actually a really good one.
That's the only one I really, really, really remember.
So for anyone, this
is a Wing Bowl heavy episode, which is not making me super happy.
But Mo Train was sponsored by Steak and Maine, which is an awesome steakhouse. Where I follow Tony, the owner, on Twitter and Instagram.
Of course, his name is Tony.
I met him. He sponsored Molly. He sponsored a lot of the big eaters, including Mo Train, and they do like funny challenges where. So he did like a fancy dinner with steak, asparagus. I think one year he did Mo Train did a sushi boat. I don't know if it was with Steak and Maine or not, but that's a good one. Going the more classy route. Mo Train wore the tuxedo.
He's always good for a bet.
The one that came to my mind was when I believe the guy's name was the Iceman. He was this like older looking gentleman, unassuming.
Yeah, when you call people gentlemen, it always makes me laugh.
This unassuming older looking gentleman, and he goes, "I'm gonna eat." I'm making up the numbers because I don't remember, but he goes, "I'm gonna eat 3 feet of bread."
Oh, I remember this guy.
So I feel like this was our first year covering Wing Bowl.
Oh, he's gonna eat.
Well, so it's like, oh my god, this guy's gonna eat enough loaves of bread, 3 feet. But then what he did was he took the slices and laid them out like long ways. So instead of it being like sliced like this and then taking the one slice that would and just put it down on its face, so the width became, so you basically ate like half a loaf of bread.
What was the one where they were like, oh, what's he gonna eat? Like they got like the number so comically off about something.
I feel like it was either Carmen or Dave the Termite Wood.
I think it was
Dave. One of like the like younger dudes who like we like loved.
And like, oh, what are you gonna eat? Like 20? He like
40. Like yeah. Maybe it was one. I feel like it was Termite. Termite did the SpaghettiOs.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure he did the SpaghettiOs, and they were like, "We'll give you how much should we give him? A minute? Nah, 2 minutes.
Yeah, he was like,
let's give him 6 minutes." He did in like 30 seconds or something.
Well, he's gone now, huh? We haven't heard from him in a while.
Termite's doing his own thing. I see him post on social media every once in a while.
Just like about his real.
Yeah. No more. He had his YouTube channel, which he doesn't really do anymore.
Big shouts to Termite.
Yeah, love Termite. Dave Wood, what a guy.
And there is a 2-degree separation to Dave the Termite Wood, separate from competitive eating. He knew somebody who Tommy knew, who I knew through Tommy.
Of course.
She was like, "Oh, you got this podcast? Yeah, you know." Not unlike a Ronnie Hartman, you just find these other strange people. But the bread one was good.
I just remember being so mad. I was just like.
Well, because you're a journalist.
But I also realized, this is sort of the bit of Wing Bowl.
Right. Like, there's a little bit of tomfoolery, there's a little bit of trickery. He wasn't, he being, not Gino. What the hell is his name? The guy who hosts the show.
Angelo.
Gino. Like, he was not being, like, it wasn't, like, the gross. Like, he wasn't doing, he was just like, this guy's crazy. Like, the whole, and which is, like, the fun part of it instead of the gross part of it. So that's another good one.
Now, the last fan question we have.
There's more?
There's one more From Prudence Di Benedetto.
No disrespect, Prudence. Very sorry.
We saved the best for last.
We always do. I love Prudence.
Prudence, who is also nominated for the fourth Finky Awards.
For what?
Rising Star of the Year.
Wow, and when are those happening?
April 13th.
2019?
2019.
4 p.m.?
4 p.m.
14th and 7th?
14th and 7th.
Flannery's Bar. Jinx?
Talk too much.
Please do talk too much.
Please.
Sweetheart.
So Prudence wants to know if we have any predictions on the rankings.
I do. And I thought about this one.
Okay.
I'm coming out hot.
I'm going to pull this up.
I have some specific... Because I saw who asked the question, and I thought about our ill-fated interview with Juan Morbite Rodriguez. Carmen drops, but not nearly enough.
Well, Carmen is going to drop off.
I don't think so. I think they...
What?
I think they...
Keep Carmen.
So now, Mike, as you know, the rankings come from on high. We don't know when they'll come. We don't know why they'll come, and we don't
Starting to
know.
get annoyed with On High.
Yo, you and me both, pal. But you know what? Remember in Independence Day when Will Smith just like comes outside and he sees the spaceship like in the distance, and he's just like, all right, and he gets ready to go. That's, you don't know they're coming, but then it just changes your life. It's like what do they call the groundhog? You're gonna find out.
Yeah, I'm going to Punxsutawney on
Right,
February
it's Punxsutawney
2nd,
Phil.
2020.
You never know, but you have to be happy with the answer. Whenever it comes from on high, whenever the scrolls are sent down from the heavens, Carmen is not going to drop out of the top 50. According to Major League Eating.
That's a bold prediction.
And Prudence Di Benedetto will rise.
She better.
What's her number right now?
She's not unranked. She's unranked.
I wanted to make sure she wasn't. I was going to say she will be above 42.
Okay. Let's see. Let's scroll down.
I thought she had to be like maybe 48 or 49 or 50, but I thought she wasn't there. I believe she will go higher than 42, which is currently Katie Prettyman. No disrespect. We love Katie.
We're just talking about Prudence's placement.
Prudence makes it above 42.
Crazy.
And I believe that the Mutiny, Bad Habit, Carmen Ciccati does not drop out of the top.
Where does Carmen fall? Yeah, where does Carmen fall?
In the 30s.
Interesting.
Worst case.
Interesting. Because Juan came on our show and goes, "I'm a top 10 eater. I'm just waiting for Carmen to
and was
to
just
drop
like sour.
out."
Classic Juan's just sour, which we love. We love you, One More Bite. We're sorry.
He's sour at us after the.
That's the only person I'll apologize.
So you feel Prudence is gonna pop in, and Carmen not falling off the ranking is a pretty bold prediction.
You know, I am so confident of that. It doesn't even feel bold.
Would you you want to make a gentleman's bet?
Depends on what we're betting.
Gentlemen, just gentlemen.
Oh, just a gentleman's agreement. Yeah, sure.
The bet is the next update of the rankings. Carmen, I'll even just give you Carmen will be in the top 50.
Oh, 100%.
You don't need to be like.
I would actually bet you legal U.S. tender. If we could find a bookmaker for that, I would put a lot of money on
I'm
that.
sure there is one somewhere.
No.
Brian? Okay, that's actually a pretty good prediction that I did not expect.
All right, so what do you got?
Okay. I just want to... Yes, there are some mythical powers that are involved in the rankings, but the other practical thing I'm willing to kind of say on the air, and this is just my opinion.
Sure.
You know, the rankings at the end of the day are a way to promote eaters that are going to be at Nathan's, be at other contests. I mean, because the higher powers have never revealed any of the calculations, there are some skeptics, and myself, I've grown some skepticism of maybe it is just a marketing tool, a PR thing.
Yeah, you better hope there's no lightning this week, Mikey.
I'm just saying. I mean,
don't walk that dog tonight.
I have to. Kate already went to bed.
Kate
so
did this morning. I couldn't.
So anyway, because of that, I'm thinking about Nathan's, like what's coming up and so on. So I agree. I feel like Prudence will need to qualify a second time, and we'll get on the rankings. I feel Adam Beard Meets Food Moran will absolutely
that's another good one.
Make the rankings because from what we've heard, and I've tried to go back and fact check this, and I can't find it in writing, but I feel like he tweeted at some point that he was definitely going to one of the qualifiers happening this month.
He's trying to make a name for himself,
and he has the accent as well.
Yes, that's why he's perfect. He doesn't have a Statham accent really though.
No,
that guy does though. The name for myself does.
They look similar.
They do. Cannonball shoulders, bald head.
He'll qualify as long as I'm not making that up. He'll qualify They'll put him in the rankings, and I think that that's great because they'll really build this international story of if Max Suzuki comes back, Adam Moran, so on.
Yep.
Now, other rankings I'm going to make on them. So, I feel top 4 will be Joey, Esper, Breeden, Stoney.
Okay.
Stoney will stay at 4, but Breeden will hop up ahead of him. Who else do we have on here? Who don't we have on here?
Yeah, I'm telling you, 50 is so many.
50 is a lot.
According to Major League Eating. Dud Light's got to drop.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dud Light is still on there, or at least as high as he is. Does Princess Cassie hang on?
She's got to drop something, right? I mean, she's not even coming this year.
And maybe neither did Mary Bowers last year, and
fair.
So it's hard. I definitely they try to keep the top 50 diverse,
sure,
as well.
As
so I feel like she may have finally gotten removed, but I know that she still is. Nella Zister is still 35 on there. She's ahead of Darian Thomas, who has been at a
Prudence. You're going to be in this top 50, girl.
Prudence is going to be on there.
Can't wait to see you there.
And how about Matt Hazard? Matt Hazard's sitting at 21.
Oh, kid's gonna go way.
Kid's got to get a
jump.
jump.
Age.
You know, he wasn't nominated for Rising Star of the Year for no reason.
Who nominated him?
The people.
Oh wow!
The
At what award show?
The Fink Awards.
Wow.
The 4th Fink Awards.
4th Fink Awards. Cool.
So yeah. So that would be some
that was fun.
predictions, I would say.
Thanks to everybody for the questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a ton of fun. In the quiet months where I was like, hey, what are we going to talk about? That was awesome. So appreciate everyone.
The Fink Fan Forum. We appreciate it. A Fink Fan Forum episode.
Hashtag really appreciate the fans.
And, I mean, you guys could always suggest things that you want to hear from the show. Hashtag Fink Fan Forum is a really good way. I try to check it every once in a while to see if anyone. But obviously, you can always just @reply us. And I guess it's the time of the show. We should probably just get to it.
Yeah.
The best way to get in touch with our show is to go to twitter.com/FBTSpod. We're also on Instagram at the exact same handle.
FBTS.
But if either of those social medias just aren't enough,
it's crazy.
I mean, it's 280 characters at this point on Twitter,
which is nuts.
You can send us an email. It's an electronic snail mail, and you can do that by sending it to thinkbeatsthestomach@gmail.com. And James, there's another social media platform.
I know it.
That we're trying as a show to get a little bit more use out of.
Vids, pics, links.
I mean, it is a good way to aggregate everything together.
It is an aggregator.
Like you said, videos, photography, and hyperlinks.
Yeah, and it is one. I don't know if Twitter's also involved, but it is certainly it's the only one I know of that's currently under investigation from the Housing and Urban Development federal government. It's facebook.com/thinkbeatsthestomach.
That is true.
Wow.
And
wild.
Even though it's under investigation, it's still open for business.
Still open for biz.
You can still go to our page.
We talked about when you're rich. You can't. They can't catch you.
Please, if you're attending the Thinkies, find the event. Find the event page. We've been sharing it.
A little bit of warmth in a world that needs it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Stand by. If you're coming, if you like it, like it. If you're not coming, just forget
it. We're going to be announcing some fun things about the Finkies, I feel like, over the next week or so.
They're all fun, but these are super fun.
But at a minimum, it's just going to be a fun time to drink. Again, it's on April 13th at Flannery's Bar on 14th and 7th.
Manhattan, New York, New York.
And why I'm so excited, you know, we say it every year at the show. I'm sure we'll talk about it again while we're there live because I doubt we'll be able to figure out a way to live stream it anyway.
Sure.
But the Finkies is really just us with the people that we love both in our personal life and our competitive eating life a lot of times, and just having fun and celebrating what, you know, you guys and you, James, what you have allowed me, what they've allowed us to do over these few years.
And what Kate has allowed us
to do. And Kate specifically has allowed us to do. She could have told us to stop a long time ago. So yeah, it's the best. It's the best day of the year in terms of competitive eating for us.
But it's one of my favorite days of the year, period.
I agree.
There's so much warmth in that room. There's so many smiles. There's just everything that you could want from just a gathering of humans. It happens to be about competitive eating, and it happens to be as silly as it is.
It's very silly.
And that's like what all I can think about for the next couple weeks is going to be less than 2
weeks.
Because it's April 13th, 2019.
Yep.
4 p.m.
And here we are on April 2nd.
That's right.
So again, voting's gonna stay open for another
couple minutes now.
Yeah, less than an hour. So get your votes in, and then we're gonna give out the awards in less than 2 weeks. So we thank you guys all for voting.
Thank you.
But most importantly, we thank you for listening to this episode and watching this episode of Fink Beats the Stomach.
See you at the Finkies, everybody.